What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Summer Career Mode. It is episode number 44, returns on the back of our Community Shield win. Finally got the first in Reading's history. The two new signings of Vandenberg and Cater coming in, and the sale of Dara O'Shea as well. There's loads to get through today, man, so we're going to crack straight on. I can't natter on like I normally do. We've got 35 million in the budget. We're going to play our first Premier League games of the season, and we've had the draw for the Champions League group stage whilst wrapping up the summer window too. Lots to get through, let's crack straight on. And so let's jump right into the first of several games today. Premier League season opener, West Ham away. Won the title last season against the odds. Question is, can we now do it back to back? Well, that would be my target. The board say top four. That's bare minimum, but I want to retain it after winning it last season. First game away at West Ham. Let's start off with the 3 points in our title defense year. Come on, you Royals. So I often use this phrase, learn through evidence. If you have done something before, it means you can do it again. It's, I suppose, somewhat empowering, I guess. It's something that I try and remind myself sometimes in life when I'm going into a tricky test and I think, do you know what, I don't think I'm good enough to do this. I remind myself of an occasion where I might have once done it before. And then I'll say, well, if I have done it before, then what's stopping me doing it again? I've been in this position before, so why can't I do it again? Last year is, oh, that's just gone in. How did that go in? Lucas Paquetá makes it 1-0, but last year we won the Premier League title, winning it back-to-back, hell of an arse, but if we do it last season, we could do it again, but Lucas, I'm so confused. How has that ball gone in? Shot comes in, and Bennett gets a strong touch on it, but did he deflect into the roof of the net? Oh, he did indeed. Yeah, I thought... First of all, I thought that cleared the crossbar. Initially, I thought that went over. Evidently, it did not. Bennett with an unorthodox bit of goalkeeping. And you can see why it's ended up in the back of the net. I thought it went over. In the end, it goes into the roof of the net. It was one of those rare kind of like optical illusion moments where you need to see it from a different angle to totally appreciate what just happened. Lucas with the opener, West Ham in front, and that was me saying, hey, we can win the title again, won it last season, we can do it again. We're starting off with an L, which is looking very likely now, is not the way we wanted to begin this defence. Lucas bags his second, no confusion about that goal, drilled in, West Ham 2 up in 28 minutes. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, this has been, oh my goodness, possibly the worst start we could have had to the season. Just got an injury there as well. Who's went down? Was that Tyler went down? No, was it Haynes? No, who just got the knock? I swear I just saw someone get the knock there. Well, there is definitely a knock. Dennis now goes down. Oh my goodness gracious. The worst possible start to the title defense year ever. Dennis now does definitely get an injury. 2-0 down. This is all going wrong. As Anderson finds a spree. A quick 1-2 between the pair. Oh, it was Amdouni. It was Amdouni that got a knock. Oh my goodness. Amdouni and Shirkin both carrying knocks. And 2-0 down. Heading into the break. Goodness gracious. Kudus with Owen Haynes to beat. Does beat him. Works into the middle. It's free. It is free, and West Ham have absolutely dominated the champions in their own backyard. Not in their own backyard, in West Ham's backyard. Oh my goodness. This is possibly, quite possibly, the worst start to a league title defence I've ever had. Well, I said in FC24 it's been a year of firsts for me. This is another one. Worst title defence beginning I have ever had. This is embarrassing. 3-0. How do you even defend this? Quite literally. Ref, please, I'm begging you. Blow the full-time whistle now. Like, seriously, get it over and done with. Game's over. This has been embarrassing. And if there's going to be another goal, it will be a 4th for West Ham. Please, please, just blow that full-time whistle now. I want to get us back on that coach ASAP and get us back to Berkshire. That has got to be the worst start to a season I've ever had after winning the title the previous year. Never mind embarrassment, that's humiliation. And the West Ham fans serenading Millwall fan Doxy boy. They're loving it. I'm not. That is embarrassing. Get me back to the Medeski.
Learn through evidence, you know. If you've done it before, you can do it again. And my target for the season is to win the title again.
Yeah, great start, mate. Really, really good start, mate. Good start, mate. Good start, Doxy boy. Nice one, mate. Good beginning, mate. Good strong start there, son. Oh, God. What was that? Oh, please tell me as well those injuries aren't long term. Okay, that's a 5-day. And that is a 3-month, and that's exactly what I thought it would be as well. Dennis with the broken toe. Thankfully, Amdouni will be back for the following game, which is Manchester United. But Dennis will be done for 3 months, and he'll miss the starts of the Champions League campaign as well. Okay, alright, well I said we might need a new backup fullback. We don't have a backup left back right now, and I think that might be where we look next. Backup fullback now that Dennis is done for, again, 3 months' time. I have flirted with the idea of trying to convert Gruev to a left back, which I think he could do. I really do. I think Gruev could fill in as a backup left back. Especially in this sort of like temporary role with the injury to Dennis. Charlie, I've played Charlie there a few times as well. That is also something I've considered as well, though that would take a lot longer for a conversion. And again, I mentioned before with Riley McGree, his stats mean he can play there, but once again, it will just take too long for the conversion to be completed. So I think just sign someone. And like I said, we've got 35 mil. Put it to use. Put it to use. Bring someone in. Annoyingly, I've missed out on one of the targets I wanted, though. That is Lewis Hall, the youngster. Never used him before. Be excited to give him a go, but he's joined Leicester instead. Serginho Dest is about to join Crystal Palace. I could snatch him away from Glasner at the last second, but to be honest here, those high-low work rates don't really suit me. So I think I'm going to let him go there to Selhurst Park instead. But there's a couple others on the shortlist. Bjorn Major at Nottingham Forest as well. Back in the Premier League for this season, and the strength this guy's got along with the stamina and the pace makes him a physical machine and technically really solid as well, with 87 crossing going forward, also defensively 85 defensive awareness and decent defensive stats too. Yeah, I might go after him. I think we could just about afford him, I think, and it gives some good competition for Dennis as well. Let's see if we can pull this off. To be fair, he's on a really high weekly wage at 70 grand, so that is something I'm a bit concerned about. We might not have enough money for this, you know. If we were going to pick him up, we'd probably have to swap out Renato, which I don't really want to do. I know he's 33 now, and I still don't really want to do it. Could give him Charlie Savage. We've been talking about Charlie Savage going at some point, or even Luke Kundle, who's of course in the final year of his deal. I'm going to do actually, give him Kundle. He's in the final year of his contract, so why not? But even then, he's not worth much. So he's not going to soften the fee by much. 30 million, and we only might just have enough for him, so we'll go 29 to begin with. But I don't know if this deal's going to come off, you know. I think Forest now back in the Premier League probably aren't going to be willing to part ways cheaply. And thus, I don't think we're going to have enough for him. The max we could give is probably the market valuation of 31 mil. And that, even then, is going to be very tight to give a contract to. No, Nuno's saying no. And I'm just going to say, fair enough, you keep him. Can't afford him. This is going to be a tricky end to the window here. Now, Dennis is down for 3 months. Do we go for a replacement or what? Just ask McGree to fill in there? There's PSG now putting a bid for Serginho Dest, and a bid comes in for Felix Bishop, which I will turn down as well. I'm not worried. We'll be okay. We'll figure that out, man. I mean, like I said, Bond often plays left back when Dennis needs a breather anyway, and CJ can fill in at right back. He's more than good enough to start most of our games, so I'm not worried. But I will be worried if we lose this game as well. First of Medeski this season. Manchester United last year finished 9th as Dara O'Shea comes back to Berkshire, needing to get our first points on the board here on match day 2. Let's get it done. Come on, you Royals. Yeah, safe to say it's not really a perfect start. I might have that community shield in the cabin, and that's nice, but I would have preferred the 3 points on match day 1, to be honest. And instead, it was the opposite way around. But even so, up on, great ball. Anderson, shot blocked by who else but O'Shea, and it drops back to Reggie, who fires it just wide of the post. I think we'll be okay to turn it around. It's a first game, man. Like, seriously, 37 more to play. We'll be okay. Don't get me wrong, it's a tough start to the season in terms of the fixture list. West Ham away and in both Manchester clubs. I get that, but great ball, Gruev. Oh, get out of the way, Amdouni. If you want to win the title, you've got to win the tough games. Can't even get a goal at the moment. It's made even harder. Oh, great footwork, Harvey. Made even harder when your striker's getting in the way of your shots. As Amdouni plays a great through ball, he says, I'll make amends. I'll set up the opening goal, if not score it. Femi Aziz just about squeezes it past Bayindir, and Reading do have the opening goal. Well, I have to be totally honest with you guys, this has been an awful, awful game, but on the back of a 3-0 drubbing on match day 1, I'll take a grind up 1-0 every day of the week, just to make sure we get our first dub of the season. Yeah, that West Ham game, just a blip, man. Just a blip. An embarrassing blip, but a blip nonetheless. First game of the season. There's 37 more games afterwards, man. You can't get too downbeat, even on the back of a big loss to start the season off. First win, let's build on it. And as a bid comes in for Alfonso Rodriguez, I was going to turn this one down. Said before, I'm totally fine loaning him and Bishop out. I'm not going to sell. I don't know who I would choose to loan out, though. I'd only loan one of them out. As Brentford put in a bid for our joint player of the season last year, Yasser Espria, but he's definitely going nowhere. Yeah, the problem is, again, because we haven't got that much depth, all things considered, really. I do need to make sure we've got enough to compete with playing in the European games as well. I might, in the end, just keep them both here. I guess we will see. But anyway, following game will be Manchester City away as Watford putting a loan bid for Luke O'Neill. But I might as well keep him here just for emergency cover. That loan deal is going to do nothing for us. Following game, Man City away at the Etihad Stadium. Heading into this one. Second away day of the season. On the back of the big loss on match day 1. Let's hope we can do slightly better here against Guardiola's side, who have started off with back-to-back wins. Let's even get our first away day victory of the season. Come on, you Royals. Yeah, this is the downside of having a bit of a small squad, you know, having to do a lot of rotating, playing players out of position. But if it gives Renato a bit more game time, you know, he'll be happy with that in the final year of his contract. Looking to secure a new deal. Reading a good article recently about free agents right now and how they could prove to be really, really beneficial to clubs to be able to sign without paying a transfer fee outside of the summer window. As Anderson finds Amdouni and it's Femi. Oh, he's denied. And Man City will get the danger away. I think we're going to see that more now. I really do. I think we're going to see that more and more and more. Players running down their contracts and not signing for clubs straight away, testing their waters in free agency. See it a lot in the NBA. I think we're going to see it a lot more in football nowadays as well. Players, you know, again, willing to stay as free agents for a while, waiting for the right offer to come in. Gruev to Espria, all the way back to Bennett. So we're still deadlocked at 0-0. I take this. Granted, only one win to start the season off. No away day victories so far, but oh, as Gruev has his pass intercepted. And this is where Gruev's lack of pace is going to cost us at full back. Ball into the middle. Haaland takes his time and takes aim, only to be denied by Bennett at the near post. Still 0-0, 33 minutes in, but again, I'll take a point here. Draws, as we know, subjective. This will be a decent one for us here against West Ham. Great footwork. That's fine. Gruev runs onto it and slips when going to shoot. Does win a corner though. Does win a corner. And possibly a chance to strike 6 before the break. Come on, play continues. Wilhelmer whips one in. Headed away. And oh dear, that's not exactly what I meant to do. Is that a penalty? Is that a penalty? No way. Haaland with the leg swipe on Keita. It's not quite what I meant to do. And I want a pen out of it. In a way, I do see why that would be given. You know me, I often find those quite subjective, but actually I think that's the right call. I think that is the right call from the ref. It's a high foot from Haaland, it's lazy, it's clumsy, and I think that's the right call, so I'm going for it. Zeki Amdouni going top right. I think that's the right decision, and Amdouni makes it 1-0. Possibly controversial, boos around the Etihad, but I think the ref's called that spot on. Amdouni with the opener, Reading in front before the break. Yeah, that's what you call, oh, great tackle, Haynes. A striker's challenge from Haaland. He wanted to do what Haynes just did there. Made all the connection with the ball and a fair tackle. In the end, brings down Keita. You could say he was looking for it, but it was a pen in my book. But this goal from open play and not from the spot. Zeki Amdouni bags his brace and Reading go 2-0 up at the Etihad. Won it last season, winning here again. Reading 2-0 up. Yeah, know what you're good at, you know what you're good at. I love talking about this. Like, in my opinion, everyone has got like a gift or a talent at something, and there are certain things that, like, I was having a chat with one of my mates about this the other day. Like, there's certain things that, like, you're just never gonna be able to do. Like, it's just not in your nature. I've mentioned this before. Like, I when I was a kid, I was a little bit of a class clown, but not so much. But I always liked the idea of trying to make people laugh. I always like the idea of trying to be a bit of a comedian, but I'm not funny. As Foden makes it 2-1, I'm not funny. That's not my role, you know. And I've mentioned this before, but like my dream, one of my like kind of fantasies in my mind is to be like a stand-up comedian. I'm not funny. I'm not funny in any way whatsoever. Me doing stand-up comedy would be like Joker, you know, with Joaquin Phoenix in that great film. Like, people would be laughing at me, not with me. I am not funny, you know. But what I am good at is what I'm currently doing right now. You know, this is my domain. You know, Haaland's domain is putting the ball in the back of the net, not tackling. You know, oh dear. Anyway, still lead cut to 1, but I think we'll be all right, and we definitely will be if Femi scores this. No, good save. Kept it 2-1, but in stoppage time, not enough time for Man City. Could put the ball in the corner or into the middle. Not going to matter. Not enough time. As we are going to get our first away day victory of the season, as Anderson is denied. And there it is. There it is. Reading putting it right on the back of the drubbing on match day 1. First a big win against Manchester United, and then our first away day victory against Guardiola's side as well. Zeki with a brace, and Reading run out 2-1 winners. Massive 3 points early in the season. And as Fortuna Sittard want to take Harvey Nibbs on a 2-year loan deal, I'm obviously going to turn this one down as we're about to head into a deadline day. You know, I said before, I think the transfer window has gotten slightly more intelligent from what it used to be like. I've said this before, but if you played back in days like FIFA 13, you'll remember this was a time when like Bayern Munich would have like 10 strikers and no centre half. It was a bit crazy. It has gotten slightly better since then, but every now and then something like that happens. You're like, what's going on there? Then again, Victor Osimhen going to Galatasaray, it would have called that at the start of the window. Even so, deadline day's here, and we've got a bit of money to work with, but Gurev's come in and look pretty solid at left back. I don't know whether to spend the money, buy someone, or just keep things as they are. I mean, I wouldn't mind just bringing someone in to add a bit of depth here, you know, add a bit of emergency cover. There's a couple of names on the shortlist that I could bring in. I've lost my scout reports on Billy Gilmore and Carlos Baliba. With Brighton down to the second tier, I wouldn't be against this. A left-footed player who, like Gurev, could probably fill in at left-back, to be fair. He's got tremendous strength, and his stamina's not bad either as well. Plus the good ball control too, and the high work rates as well. Could still possibly try and bring in Gorna Duaf, but I think he's probably slightly out of our budget now, I would say. And there's a couple others as well. One at Luton Town too. Where is he here? Where is he? There he is. Kitolano. Never used this guy before, but 27 years old, 80 rated. Could probably get him for a round mark evaluation. And again, we look at the stats here, very versatile. And this is the sort of player that would be worth a lot to us when we need to play players in different positions like we've been doing recently with the Dennis Shirkin injury. I don't mind this signing here. Joshua Kitolano. I might go in for him. Yeah, I think he's out of contract at the end of the season. Luton is still a championship team. This guy's more than good enough for the Premier League as well. So with that being the case, what I might do is say, do you want Luke Kundu, who's out of contract coming at the end of the season? We're not going to use him much, especially if we sign this guy as well. And he's good enough for the Championship. This guy's good enough for the Premier League. We'll do a slight switchy here. Rob, what do you say? Okay, yeah, they do want Luke Cundle. This is one of those sort of like mutually beneficial deals. They're my favourite kind of deals, where they work for every party. Do you know what I mean? Kitolano gets his move back to the Premier League, and you know Cundle is going to play more in the Championship. That's more of his level, you would say. Luton get a player that again will be there for a rebuild period, and we get a player with first team quality that's an upgrade as well. This works for all four parties. Yeah, I think this is quite a smart transfer here. Never used him before, but excited to give him a go, and because of his range of stats, very versatile, like Gruev, like Keita, like Tapia, like Savage, a DM that can play in a range of different positions further forward, deeper, or on the flanks, either as a fullback or a wingback. This guy's got some really nice versatile stats. Welcome to the Medeski Stadium, Joshua Kitolano. Yep, CDM listed positions, 27 years old and still getting better as well. And so if Gurev isn't working out at left back, we could try Tapia. If Tapia's not working out at left back, we could try McGree. If McGree's not working out at left back in Shirkin's absence, we could try this guy as well. Very versatile. This is exactly what we're looking for a player when we've got a small squad and we're playing a lot of games. Happy with his signing, man. He's my sort of player. Hard worker, great energy, and versatile too. What's not to love? And I think I've probably ran out of time for loaning out one of my players. Brighton want to take Charlie Savage, and now they're down to the second tier. That would actually work perfectly for them. That would work perfectly. I did say at some point I'll probably let Robbie's son go, and he's probably, I'll tell you what, he'll get a lot more game time there than he does here. Now he brought in Kitolano, he's barely going to play at all. I might just let him go, you know, with Oakley coming through and looking good. 09 is somehow still here. I might let him go. Thing is, could I bring someone in to replace him? That's the question. I mean, Charlie knows his role as a rotational player, so I'd want to make sure if we could sell him, we could bring someone in to replace him. I tell you what, if Brighton do want him, why don't we go for a switchy? They've got Carlos Baleba. Again, I've lost the full scout report on the guy, but tremendous strength and good stats on the technicals as well. So why don't we say to Brighton, still De Zerbi in the save, you can have Charlie through this negotiation here, and we'll take one of your midfielders who we perceive to be better as well. So we'll say, okay, if you want him for a rebuild there in the Championship, how about 10 mil plus Charlie? And they say yes, but a bit more money. Well, I don't need to sell Charlie Savage. This is the thing. I often mention this, but on deadline day, if you don't need to do anything and you've not got a replacement lined up, take your time. Take your time. Don't be forced into doing anything you don't really want to do. 11.5 plus Savage or Ballet. That's a steal, that. What you might notice in some of my career modes is that I very rarely take away a player's squad number if they wear it in real life or they've worn it in my team for quite a long period of time. So when you notice that a player has lost their squad number in my team, you might think their days are numbered. And you'd probably be right. In Savage's case, that was definitely going to be how things would be. I gave away his number 8 to Mandela Keita. He knew his days were numbered. And in the end, he leaves on deadline day to join Brighton for their rebuild in the Championship. And going the other way for 11.5 mil, plus the part exchange deal of Robbie Savage's son, is a player who I'm excited to use for the first time ever. Welcome to the Medeski Stadium, Carlos Baleba. Yep, 24 years old, 79 overall. So younger than Savage, 3 ratings higher, and still getting better, and he's just the upgrade. He's just the upgrade. Like when we signed Keita, so I was looking for the upgrade of Tapia. This is the upgrade from Charlie Savage. Tremendous ball control and passing, and again, he's versatile enough to fill in different positions in this team, although CDM is where he will most likely be at his best. But I'll leave him on balance for now with those high work rates. Let the stats all go up gradually, but he coming in alongside Kitolano gives us a bit more strength in depth. Our reserves now have got a little bit better as a unit, if that makes sense. And I think with just 3 mil in the budget, I'm going to make one quick signing, and it's literally just here for realism, but also because he's homegrown as well. I like to have 3 first team goalkeepers. It's not like not every team does this, but most teams do, especially if they're playing in Europe as well. And you might notice that if it's a team that are playing in a European competition, and because of those homegrown standings as well, they often might have a goalkeeper that hits the homegrown standings. For Newcastle, for example, when they were in Europe, they brought back Mark Gillespie. Manchester United brought back Tom Heaton. It's not always done that way, but it's just nice, and it's something that I like to do. This is one of those things where I often say this, like I like to play the game just to have fun, and you can play the game however you want to play the game as well, but this is really fun for me. I like having homegrown players, and I like going for that rule as well, having 4 players that were trained by the club between the ages of 15 to 21 for at least 3 years. Salford came through the academy, so he helps with the homegrown rulings. Actually, I might be wrong about Mark Gillespie. I think he was signed before Newcastle got into Europe. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Point still stands. Having those homegrown players is very useful for the squad registration rules, and backup goalkeepers are probably the best you can get as well, especially if you know they're not going to complain. And Luke definitely won't. On 11 grand a week now coming to the Premier League, he won't play a minute, probably. Well, he might play a League Cup game here and there, but for the most part, just here to help with the squad registration rules. And to be fair, he is a bit of an upgrade on Kanaya Boyce-Clark in terms of the rating at least alone. I love the kicking stat as well, to be fair. So welcome back to the Medeski Stadium, Luke Salford. Yep, 3rd signing on deadline day coming in. And again, the 78 kicking is actually really solid, man. I quite like that. So yeah, just here as a new backup goalkeeper, and just here for the homegrown rulings as well. It's one of my quick tips for making career mode a bit more challenging, immersive, realistic, and fun as well. As Brentford putting a bit of a bishop, but of course we're going to turn it down. Just think about it. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but definitely consider it, man. 4 players that were trained for 3 years between the ages of 15 to 21 at your club. It makes you want to make use of the academy a bit more, so you can have players that become superstars, but also have the added bonus of being homegrown, like in the case of Reggie Bond, for example. But also when you're making new signings, you might consider that aspect as well. Just makes it a bit more fun, at least in my opinion. Anyway, deadline day comes to an end. 3 new signings, and the top deals: Matthias Sule to Frankfurt for 90 mil. Frankie de Jong has not only left Barcelona in his say, but Roma as well, but he's back in La Liga Pedro Atletico for 63.5 mil, and Manuel Locatelli. I swear I've seen him move to Leicester in like 3 different saves of mine in this year's FC. He's moved there again, 58.9 mil, as he's off to the King Power. So there we go, deadline day comes to an end. 3 new signings on transfer deadline day, 2 new versatile midfielders, and a new backup goalkeeper. And now we will see the draw for the Champions League group stage, where Reading have been drawn against. Not in the first 4. Oh, what a group! Oh my goodness gracious me. Wow. PSG, Porto, who don't forget won it 2 years ago in this save, and Ajax as well. Could you call it a group of death? I mean, it's definitely up there. We'll do well to qualify even in second place. PSG, Porto, and Ajax. Little Reading going into the Champions League, and that's the draw we've got. My word. And that's going to be a group of champions as well, with all 4 teams winning their league titles last season. I'm buzzing for that. Let's do one more. We'll end on this as well. Spurs away in North London, going for our 3rd win in a row to bounce back from that terrible opening day defeat. Come on, you Royals. Yeah, I'm excited for that, man. That should be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And even though you'd say that, again, because of like how much our team has gotten better since the save began. I often say this, but like, the team you start off with isn't the team you finish up as. Obviously, we all know that. Oh, great ball. Oh, Zeki denied by Venom. I would still say, even though we're probably better in terms of rating than Porto and Ajax, again, Ajax, fantastic team, as we know, rich history, and naturally Porto, as you mentioned, won the CL 2 years ago in this save, so certainly not going to underestimate them, that's for sure. Even so, good stop by the Italians, still 0-0, but a fast start here, as we're looking to right our wrongs from the opening day loss. Amdouni shot blocked and cleared. Catalano on his debut to Reggie, and we'll get the danger away. I see ya. I'm going to be able to get it to you, so we'll work it through instead. That's fine. Slow it down. Slow it down. Don't need to go for the jugular. It's 19 minutes in and we're tied at 0-0, so just slow it down and build more patiently instead. Haven't always got to get the ball forward into a danger zone as quickly as possible. I saw a lot of criticism for Casemiro on the weekend, and I think you can say rightfully so. It was a really tough first half performance, but I think for someone to misplace passes, it was just a case of just trying to go too far at the pitch too quickly. At times, it's okay to pass it backwards and sideways, which he really didn't want to do. Even so, still 0-0, 25 minutes in. Coming to great saves by Vicario, but that opening goal is coming. That opening goal is coming. It's only a matter of time. Another good save, still 0-0. Free kick for Reading, 5 before the break. Somehow, still 0-0, as Wilhelma steps up to take this one. And in what has been a really, really dominant first half, where we're still searching for that opening goal. Trying to get this perfect here. Might need a bit more height on that ball. That might do it. Can we find an opening goal? Wilhelma to take. It was coming, but I didn't think it was going to come like that. With so much power, and dipping, and bending, and finding the back of the net. Wilhelma gets his first free kick goal to the save, but it's the wonderful trajectory. Look at that move around like a Jabulani. 3rd free kick goal to the save, probably my final one at FC24, and that's one to remember. Vicario had no chance. When I said I was trying to get it perfect, that's what I meant. My goodness, that could not have been a better free kick had I attempted it 1,000 times over. Wilhelm was first to the save. You love to see it. We've called it the next Gylfi Sigurdsson, and I think he scored like a couple of long-range strikes since he's come back from St. Pauli, but that's the best by far. And he'll almost get an assist as Cater hits the bar and Spurs get it away. How is it still 1-0? How are Spurs still in this, man? I should be up by 4 or 5 goals here, honestly. If I don't win this game, I'm going to be fuming. I've been absolutely dominant. Back in the day, I was lethal at free kicks, but it was a long time ago. As Nunez fires the leveller. So when I do score one, you know I'm going to celebrate. like crazy. What I won't be celebrating in this game is the 3 points. I've bottled it. How many times have I thrown away a win right to death? Darwin Núñez, last year's Golden Boot winner, rescues a point for Spurs, and that is exactly what it is, because we've been a far better team out there. We've been on control really from the first whistle. We've had several chances, and in the end only got the 1 goal. Spurs bailed out by the Uruguayan, get themselves a point. And what an awful, awful, awful bottle that is. That should have been 3 wins in a row. And I'm mad at myself, man. Amazing free kick, and I'm thinking, what a way to end the episode on the back of that, and then I absolutely bottled it right at the end. I've got to work on my concentration, man. I'm always slipping up in the final minute, and that is not going to see us win back-to-back league titles and go far in the Champions League while trying to reclaim the FA Cup as well. Got to work on my concentration, man. And that'll do it for today's episode of the Summer Career Mode as well, guys. So big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do drop a like. That free kick is definitely worth seeing again, isn't it? As we'll close the episode out on the back of the draw with Spurs, and heading into the next one, we will return with the EFL Cup 3rd round against Leicester away at the King Power. We'll have match days 1 and 2 of the Champions League group stage, and possibly 3 as well in Reading's first ever CL games, plus more big games in the Premier League, aiming to return to winning ways on the back of a mediocre start, but a tough fixture list to begin with. Have a fantastic day, guys. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon. That's got to be one of the best free kicks I've hit, at least in Issues FC. That was class.